Let's not do that.
Stream.
Okay. Yeah.
Put it all out there.
Yeah. It'd be on my Twitch account.
Oh.
Okay. So I got this going. So I've already got this set up. And nice, all the formulas and whatnot are already in here. So you don't need to make any changes. So yeah, let's start with November 1st. So once you're in IQ, they're going to go to Reports and Statements. And then Reports is the first tab there. So once you're in here, first thing you're going to do is select an entity, and we're going to hello. There's a way I can block Wire's numbers at times. So once you let me go back just so you saw that. So when you go to select an entity, click the little plus sign. And the first thing we're going to do is start with the state, just because their lot numbers are first.
Okay.
So I work with them first. And just ignore the Washington Street parking garage up top there. We don't use that. That's for our old handhelds.
Okay.
We got in trouble for running stuff on that a while back. So it's just IDOA Washington parking -TR.
Okay.
And then we'll get to Wire over here in a second. So we're going to be pulling 2 reports. There's a few different ways you can do this. And I'll get to that later. We can do that in a separate one. But just know these settle after midnight. So the reports for yesterday are actually going to show up today, if that makes sense, when you're using the date ranges here. So even though we're doing November 1st, we're actually going to be pulling November 2nd. And you'll just make the from date and the to date the same. Obviously, if you're doing multiple days, you can expand that, but just for working on November 1st, we'll start there. So, and then once we got that, you're going to click Get Reports. All right. As you see, we've got a few reports down here. So the 2 we are going to be pulling is MD601 and MD60. So basically, one's going to be the summary page, which we're going to put in our daily paperwork. And then MD601 is going to have the breakdown. We're going to have to go in and split them up between North Lot, Senate, and Washington Street. Okay, so we will start with 601 here. Yeah, open that up in Adobe. Oh. So what this is going to do is it's going to show every single transaction, which kind of looks like it sucks, which in a way it does. But give me 1 second here. You see my calculator? It's a big silver one.
Is that big silver one?
Yeah. I swear if someone stole my calculator. Alright. For the time being, I'll just use this.
Oh, this one or this one?
Yes, yes. And then one other thing we need, and if you want to write this down.
Okay.
So how they have this breaking down is by TID numbers, and so it's basically say it's it's an exit lane. So for the Washington Street garage, it is 15 through 19. You should never see 19 because it's the pay station, but so Washington Street garage is 15 through 19, or 15 through 18. And as you can see this number right here? It's 15. And it goes in order. So you got 15, you'll have 16, 17, and 18. 17. Yeah. And then 18. And then after that, we should get to Senate, which is 20, 21, and 22, or 20 through 22.
20 through 22?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let's see, we got 20 here, 20, and then 23 and 24 is the north lot. And so what we're going to do is for each location, so like Washington 15 through 18, I'm just going to go through and they'll actually give you a summary for each one. So you got 1455. And when it comes to these numbers, always take the one to the far right. Just know the other report we're going to pull, it's going to be the opposite. It'll be the left. So
Okay.
yeah, so we got 1455 for that one.
And right now you're just adding up 15 through 18.
Yes.
Okay.
So we got 1180 on that. And then for TID 17, we got 3171. Just if it has a second line, just ignore it. That should be denied transactions. So but always take the top one. If it's
Okay.
confusing, always take the biggest number.
Okay.
So we got one more to go. Oh well. So we got 4100 on that. So I got 9906. So we're gonna go back to here, put 9906 in the transient for the Washington Street garage.
Okay.
Now the next thing is we got to go back and count how many transactions there were. So this is, you're going to add this 133 and the 9. So this is Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and then over here is American Express.
Okay.
So that's the part I hate. But so 133 plus 9. And then we got 107 plus 8.
Where you see the 8?
Right over here.
Okay, 107.
Yeah.
Okay, so settled and settled.
So here we got 42 plus 1, or 43. And then here we got 51.
Okay.
I'm adding
yep,
the 45.
45.
So now that we got the count, got 351 in here. All right. So we are done with Washington Street,
Okay.
sort of.
20 through 22.
Yeah.
Okay. I just gotta say it out loud, so I'll.
Yeah, you're good. So, and like I said, these are going to be a lot easier. They're usually smaller amounts. And if there's no transaction for one of them, it won't show up. I think this is an example. So you got 20, you got 240 down here. Let's see. Yep. So there's no 21 or 22.
Okay.
So for that, you just put that 240 and the 12 here.
Well,
So 240 and 12 in the Senate Avenue garage. And then we'll go back up here to the north lots.
23, 24.
Yeah, just curious. Yeah, so there is 23 and 24. So you got 40 and 15.
Okay.
So you got 55, and there are 2 transactions in there. And 2. So, so the one thing you always want to do is obviously like double check your numbers. So once we put all those in, and you'll know it'll give you this grand total here down at the bottom.
Okay.
So it's 10,201. So you go back through 10,201.
Okay.
And then you can also do the same for the count as well. So 351, you kind of have to do this manually unless you want to use Excel for it. So we got 365. So 339 plus 26. And just to check this, we can subtract out the 26, gives us 339.
Okay.
So that's good.
Okay.
And then for here, you're going to save this file. Let me get a new folder. Monthly. And like I said, you can name your folders whatever you want. I just do November monthly. So once we have the full report done, that'll go in November monthly, and then this is what I call a breakdown because it breaks down, you know, the credit card transactions. So, no, I want this. So we are going to save this. And November breakdown, I'm going to label it November 1 state. So that is good. And we are done with that. And now we're going to move on to White River. We will be coming back to this.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So entity, White River State Park, TR. Click Get Report. And we're going to do the same thing, but White River's much easier.
Okay.
So, oh, shoot, I almost forgot. Whenever we're using the handhelds, those are going to be higher numbers than, 24. So on your list of numbers, it's 15 through 24 for all of them. Anything after that is going to be the handhelds. So you can put that in its own little category.
After the 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's, I want to say it starts at 30 or 28. I can't remember. But yeah, just know, any higher number, that's the handhelds. So, so now that we're done with the state for the moment, we are going to move on to White River.
And this is still in this IQ.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Still in IQ. You just, when you go to select an entity, you're going to click White River State Park. I need to grab that cone real quick.
Hello. Parking garage. Hello. Parking garage.
Okay. So, same thing as before. We're going to start with MD 601.
And this is oh, okay.
So, and this is
This
White
River.
Yep, and White River is 6 through 10 on their TID numbers. All right. And like I said, if there's no events or anything going on each day, you can literally just scroll to the bottom. Make sure 10 is the last one. And then I can literally just grab that total and put it on the spreadsheet.
How do you know if there's no event? How would I know?
So just like the state, I told you anything after the number 24 is the handhelds. Well, with White River, anything after 10 is the handhelds.
Okay.
So I can scroll down.
And you can see that there's nothing after 10. so you know
Correct.
that it's- Okay.
So instead of going in and adding all these together, it does it for you here at the end of the report. So I can literally go 1781. Oh. And 87. So yeah, so 1781 and 87.
Okay.
So, and then we'll go ahead and save that. November 1, White River. Okay. And like I said, you can save it however you want. Just makes the most sense to me. So, once we got that, we are actually done with IQ for the. Oh wait, no, we're not. I don't want to do this. Yeah, let's stick with IQ. So I'll go through while we're getting the other reports. We'll go through like printing them off and all that fun stuff. And I said when you go in order, you're gonna have it pretty much in the printer, pretty much made for you. So, so we'll go back here to IQ, and we're gonna go back to the state. Get report, and we're actually gonna pull the MD 600. And what that is it's a summary of it. So instead of printing off the breakdown, obviously we need it for the state to break it down between location. For our paperwork, sometimes that thing's like 10 to 15 pages long, and I don't want to have to scan something, especially with White River involved, where it's only 10 or 12 pages. It's now 30 some that I got to scan. So,
Okay.
so we're going to print this summary page off.
Okay.
And you remember how I told you the right number
Yeah.
on the breakdown? Well, it's the left number on the summary.
Okay, great.
So, yeah. So just remember, if you aren't sure which one it is, go with the biggest number.
Okay.
It's going to be that one for 99.9% of the. And with that, we're going to print that off. There we go. Make sure it's not. Okay. Is that your computer or mine?
Mine.
Okay. Okay. So we got that printed off, and then what I usually do is I'll go back through and just double check. Obviously, that one's got wire in it, but I'll go in and add into the credit card line below where it says WorldPay. That's what IQ used to be. So just think of that as IQ. Just putting in these numbers here, 240, and then that 10201. It's gonna match that 10201 here. So. Oh, I already printed this off. So that is good. Got that printed off. And then we're going to do the same for White River. Okay, grab the 600. Open it up. Biggest number to the left, 1781. Oh. Matches 1781 up here. And then we'll go ahead and print that off. That's good. All right, we are done with IQ. Once I answer this one. Hello?
Yes, is there any way that I can pay this later on today?
No, it only works, you pay to get out.
Damn it. I did not think it was going to be this much. Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, so.
Seriously.
So, after IQ, we go on to T2 Iris. So. Signed in here. And like I said, this is the White River State Park lots credit cards. All right. So these are pretty easy. Just go to your reports tab. And I have them to where they generate every day. As you can see, there's one for, every day here. And just like IQ, these settle at like 3 a.m. as you can see. So the first is actually going to be the second. So no, instead of when you're pulling November 1st stuff, you'll pull the November 2nd report.
Okay.
And you'll just click on the little tab thing here to the right. So option menu, hit view. And I said this is clean, it's easy. So you got $201 on 32 transactions. So 201 on 32. Put that 201 down there. All right, go ahead and print it. And just for sanity check, if you want to look at what day you're actually pulling, it'll have it
It's
up
on
here.
there.
So
Okay.
it's 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. on the 1st.
Okay.
So go ahead and print that off. So that is good. Go ahead and save that. And then last thing is Park Bowl. I need to get my own account because Woody does not work here any longer. So when you're in here, you'll go to financial. And then I've been using the payment methods report. The other one below works, but it's not as neat. So when you're here, you're going to click is on this day. So, and this one is actually going to be the day you want. So the previous ones, you had to do the day after to get the day you wanted. This one, you want the day that you actually want.
Okay.
Yep. And this, like I said, they're going to be in multiples of 35 cents. So you're going to go to transaction fee here. So $3.50. And then the transaction total over here is 10. You'll need to know that for a later part, but yeah. So that $3.50, I just put it off to the side here. Like I said, it's money we get, but we don't get to keep. So that just goes right here.
Okay.
And then to print that off, I'm going to download this, download again. Open that up. Oh, come on. And then I just expand this a little bit to see the date, and then you'll want to print it to fit the page. So where it says no scaling down here, fit sheet on one page. Because if not, it'll be like 3 different pages and it'll just be all broken up. So, yep. And then, like I said, once you pull it on sale, you can see it again. Transactions, $3.50, and there's 10 of them.
Okay.
So you're going to have higher amounts here as well. So we made more money in that, but as far as just the extra 35 cents, yeah, you'll pick these two. So, all right, so that is good. And for November the 1st, that should be everything. We'll just assume it is. There's other reports you can get into to check, like citations and stuff like that, but they aren't. I don't think they've been doing citations, so.
Okay.
So, yep. All right, so this is what a normal day is going to look like. So obviously the last sheet we printed was the DDR. But like I said, that goes on top. And then you'll have the state's credit card transactions. You have White River right after that. And the White River lot. And Park Mobile. And whenever you're doing this, whenever a page is in a landscape, just make sure the top goes to the left. Just to make it more uniform. They used to care about that. I don't know if they still do, but it's just good practice. So there. I'll go ahead and scan this. And I can set you up in here. Well, I guess we need to get you a printer and scanner over there. So it won't be like this. It'll be a kind of a simpler one. But now that that's in there, I need to answer my emails. Okay. And I need to put time in. Okay.
This was for credit cards.
Yes. Well, that's actually the entire day. If we had an event or we had checks in the mail that need deposited, we'd put those in as well. But yeah.
Okay, so that's for that.
Like I said, during this season right now, where all we've got is Colts games,
Yeah.
pretty much. Like I said, 90% of your days is just going to be this.
Okay.
So it's easy. When we have events, you'll have to go through, audit everyone's paperwork, get the cash deposited to the right location. So like I said, if we have an event at both places, you're going to have obviously audit both locations, people, put everything together, and then state cash goes to treasurer, White River goes to Chase Bank, whichever you prefer on that one.
Okay.
I go to the one off of, it's by Ivy Tech.
Okay.
So I know there's one on the Circle, but I hate trying to
Having to park. Yep.
Yeah, so.
Excuse me.
All right, so we'll go ahead and save this. Like I said, this has all the paperwork in it. And November monthly. Actually, spell this one out. November 1. All right. So that is pretty much it.
Okay.
The last thing is not only
But then
sending.
you have to go and do November 2. No, you have to go and do all those other ones.
Yeah, well, we're not done yet. So for November 1, but yeah, as far as like the DDR and the paperwork.
You do that every single day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, it's you'll want to.
Yeah,
Like I said, if you
yeah.
get behind, which I usually am, it's a pain in the butt. So like I said, there's other sites for credit cards as well. So we'll just take a brief look at those. So this is where our citations are, and I've got a video on citations already if you want to look at it. But I've got 2 different logins, one for state, one for White River. I think this is the White River one. You won't ever look at the state because they don't charge, but let's go in here, collections, and then payment count by dates. And why not? We'll just pull the entire month, see if they did anything. Hello.
Will this issue a receipt?
It should. If it's jammed or out of paper, I can come out there and write you one, but it should be all right.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. You're welcome. Okay, so they haven't.
Okay, so no citation.
Nah, and I just pulled the entire month. I'm going to close out all this. So yeah, there's a few other things in here, but like I said, we'll deal with that a different day. And then the last one is Converge, which is for the White River lot as well. It's great how White River lot gets 3, sites, and everyone else shares one. This is for. Oh, you're good.
Always listening for my grandsons. It's badass. The 21st. I'm sorry. One of my people.
Oh, you're good.
Put the enrollment waiting period. She's on leave of absence, so she can't log into the computer. Isn't that crazy?
All right.
Okay, so Converge is the White River lot.
And this will be for monthly parkers and anyone that wants to pay in advance for like a bus lane or whatnot. Okay, so we used to have a monthly or 4 monthlies, and it always hit on the first, but their card expired. So, but anyway, so you just go to select terminal. Just always make sure you click the lot. You'll see the garage is X'd out, so we don't want anything running through there. And then for here, it kind of works the same way as the State and White River garage, where the settled, it'll actually settle the day after. That's for individual payments, whereas monthly payments hit the day they actually go through. So, but anyway, to look at those, you go to settled batches. And then from here, you'll click like how far back in advance you want to go. So we'll go back 30 days. There hasn't been anything, just to show you something. Here's what they look like. So, so this was a bus lane for $80. You just click View Details, and you'll see it was on the 7th before, but the actual transaction date was on the 6th. And then you just click view details again. And for this, you'd print it off and put it in the report on the back. This one you can go in when you print the receipt. You just print this off and then just write, it'd be a validation. That's what it'd be. So when you go back to the DDR, that $80 would go, well, it'd be 55, it would go right here. And then I always put the converge payments here in deposit one. Don't ask me why, I just do. So, but yeah. And same goes for like, the citations I showed you prior, even though we didn't have any, they'd go in the violations tab here. And then you just put it in one of the credit card deposits. That way, your overshort is 0. But, so yeah, that's converge, like I said.
So now when do you do this? Or you don't have to do this?
Typically nowadays we just use it for people that want to reserve a bus lane in advance.
Okay.
So they'll call, pay for it, and then we'll block off a lane over there at the lot for them. So typically we try and get them to pay the machine just because it's easier. We don't typically need to reserve lanes, but that's usually on Porsche. And it's one thing, she's going to have control over this here soon, just because it's easier. So she'll approve it, but then she'll have to send them to me, and I'm not always, available at that moment. So I just get in the habit of opening this up every day and just making sure, just seeing if there's anything in there.
Okay.
But for that, like I said, it's usually only 2 or 3 times a month that you'd actually have something in there. So, but yeah, that's it for, we'll just go ahead and finish the first. So the last thing would be putting all of this, sending it all to corporate. And you've got 2 ways you're going to send it to corporate. One is you're going to input the numbers for them, and then 2 would be actually sending the backup to them as well. So, okay. So as far as the numbers go, we use a system called RMS, or Revenue Management System. Get the other one up as well. Okay. So we're gonna work our way through these top 3 tabs here. So the first one's gonna be daily activity, and remember how I said this top section is what we're supposed to have. It kind of works the same way. Basically, we're going to add in what we're supposed to have, including the overshort, and then we're going to add in the cash, check, or credit card deposits after that. So daily activity is going to be this section here. So it's a good practice whenever you stick with that with what you're inputting. So for the daily activity, stick with here.
Okay.
And then when we move on to the deposits up here, then you go back down here and actually look at the credit card or cash deposits. So I made the mistake before of like only looking at this, and there ended up being a difference.
Okay.
I didn't caught my numbers were wrong. So it's just good practice. Like I said, look at this part for daily activity or daily revenue or whatever, and then switching over here when you get to it. So when we get to here, like I said, I just go top to bottom here. So 51 through 55. So we'll click on 51. And we are doing the first. And then here's where it's separated by transient, monthly, event, park whiz, the same categories you have up top here. So today it's just transient, and it's kind of, they have it kind of set up weird. So always remember the category you want, it's the box below it. So transient's down here, even though it kind of looks like monthly's here. So transient's always
Okay,
gonna.
now so where? Okay, what figure? Tell me on that other sheet, the DDR. Sheet, that was called DDR. Yeah. What? Okay, so you're looking at 51. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the
So-
$55.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna put that 55 and 2,
Okay.
and you can either hit enter or come down here and hit submit, and then it's just gonna confirm, those numbers are correct. Hit submit again, and you're good.
Okay.
And there's a few different ways to go back to, because we're still working on November 1st. You can either hit daily activity again, switch the date there, or you can click here to enter more revenue data.
Okay.
So it's going to bring up what you already have, but it's entered. And then we need to move on to Washington Street Garage.
Okay.
So now it's 9906 on 351. 9906 on 351. So you can hit submit, or you can just hit enter. And that is good. So we're going to enter 53 now. So 240 on 12. Enter. I'm moving a little quicker here, so it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, just always make sure, yeah, you're always on the right date as well. So 1781.
Now you entered that in 51. Then you just entered that in 51. Shouldn't it be 54?
It is 54.
Oh,
Up
okay.
here is where you're changing
Oh, okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. So, enter. All right.
Okay, I see. Okay.
And then 55, I'm going to purposely do this one wrong. So it's 201. I'm going to go 200. That's 32. Just to show you what happens if you don't match. So, and then once everything's in, you can either click deposits up here, or you can go down here and click here to do deposits for that date.
Okay.
So if you don't do that, it's not going to have the first on there. It's going to show whatever day corporate's on, pretty much.
Okay.
And then for here, like I said, it's the day you're working on, and then the deposit, the day of deposit for this next box, it's just the day after. So I don't know if they really care if it's like that, but that's just the way I've always been taught. So for here, this is when we add in all of our deposits, which obviously we don't have any cash, which makes it easy. I need to get a template or something. So when it comes to how we enter in cash or credit card, it's not just cash or credit card all the time. And I'll show you the options we have. So, so yeah, it's cash, checks, accounts receivable, Visa, MasterCard, AR, credit card. So when corporate is handling the cash, it's cash and checks. It's because it's going to our company. When corporate is handling credit cards, it's Visa, MasterCard. When the clients get that money, it's accounts receivable. Yeah, I know. And then if it's credit card, it's accounts receivable credit card. So yeah. So this is the tricky part. I have somewhere I have a DDR that has this explained, which one to use. But for the state garages and White River State Park garage.
Okay, so for State Garage
Yeah, let me
and White River.
I kind of, if you could, I want to put this all in. Here, let me write it on here because my handwriting is probably not as good as yours. So, let me think here. 52, 53, 55. So it's AR. Card. Okay. So that is, okay. So that is what it is for each location.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, State and White River Garage, they handle the credit card themselves. That's why it's accounts receivable credit card. Whereas the lot, corporate handles that.
Okay.
And then the funny thing about like a 54, which is the White River Garage. They handle the credit card, but not the cash. We handle their cash for whatever reason. So, yeah, I know. Let me, what I can do is put this on here for now. Just make it easier. You want it over here or over here?
Over there, is right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is accounts. That's probably spelled wrong, but anyway.
That's okay. Yep, I spelled that.
Let's make this bigger. Okay. This is cash checks. And then this is. Actually, how do they have it on here? R. Okay. So, like I said, so for all the state garages, they handle their own money.
Okay.
Whereas White River, our corporate handles their money. So it goes in our corporate's or our company's bank account, not our clients'.
Okay.
Whereas credit card, everywhere except for the lot, White River and the state handle their own credit cards. It goes to their banks. Whereas White River, it goes to Reef's bank. So I think I just said that in a bunch of different ways, but so yeah. So for here, accounts receivable, these 3 locations goes to the client's bank. For all of White River, all the cash goes to Reef's bank. Credit card everywhere except for the lot goes to the client's bank, except for, like I said, the lot goes to Reef's bank. So that is where this any accounts receivable means we don't get that money.
Okay.
So that makes sense. It took me a while to really wrap my head around that. But yep. But yeah, so the majority of it is going to be AR credit card. Like today, we didn't even have any cash. So 51 through 54, we'll be using these, and then it'll just be the lot, the new Visa MasterCard.
Okay.
So I'll start going through here. The other thing is for the deposit ID, 68 dash whatever the lot number is. So 68 is it's actually Republic Parking's number for Indianapolis. So and then dash the lot numbers you got on the side here. So 51 through 55. So we are starting on the north lot, and we're just gonna go down here, put in the total, which is 55, and it's AR credit card, or you can go down and drop down here. And then it doesn't matter which one you pick. I just always pick the first top one. Just make sure it's with 51 here. Just hit in 55, and you can hit enter. And once it says entry has been saved, we can move on to 52. So we got 9906. Don't need to change AR credit card. All right. Now we got 52 in there. Okay, 53 is 240. Go down to 53 down here, 240.
And this is what's being recorded, right?
Yeah, so these numbers are getting sent to corporate, or they will here in a minute.
I'm saying, are you recording this on your thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's still running. It's gonna be a bit of a video, but that's what happens. So we got 54. That is good. And then 55, as we know, is a little different. Not only is it Visa MasterCard, but we got to add in that 305.
Okay.
So that'll be $204.50.
Okay.
So 204-50, and then it is Visa MasterCard, and then 204-50. Now remember how I entered in a wrong value earlier?
Yeah.
Just so you see what that looks like. So once you got in daily activity and deposits, we're going to go to summary.
Okay.
And basically this is going to try and match both of those two. So we click on the first here. Oh, I'm an idiot. I messed up myself.
What'd you do?
I forgot to add in the park mobile and the daily activity. So, we can go back and change. It's just another thing to look at, I guess. So, so remember, I put in 200 instead of
Yeah.
201. We'll change that. We can go to edit, or you can delete, whichever you prefer. We'll add that 201 in.
Oh, okay.
So that's good. And like I said, we're missing the $3.50
Yeah.
from Park Mobile. So to go ahead and fix that, we just go back to daily activity. Oh, it was lot 55 on the first. And we just scroll down. Park Mobile fee is going to be here at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 35. And it was, remember the 10 I guess, yeah. Just hit enter there. And now when we go back to the summary, assuming everything's in properly, it's going to let us do something. So once everything is good, so you go back through and 12,186. Yep. So 12,183, or actually you can go up here. 12,183 plus 305 is 12,186. Yep. Like I said, as long as everything's matching there, we're going to hit post to general ledger. And now corporate can see that. And it's basically posted that day. It's like, hey, this is the amount that we made. So. Okay. So like I said, RMS is done for that day. The very last step is to send in the printed copies or the hard copies to them. So. Have you used SharePoint before? Okay. Basically, we'd have to get them to set it up like this, or you can send it to me and I can do this too. But yeah, once you're in here, it's 68-revenue support. And then you just go here to the year, and then the, I don't have October in here, do I? Okay, so we'll just upload October's. So, actually I don't want to do that. We are going to do a new folder. Oh, come on. To October. From here, actually we're going to do another new folder. October breakdown. So first things first. We could do the breakdown first. Let's go here, hit upload files, and then from here, since I already have these done, I'll just go in here and grab all these. I just always think when I do this that this is like pinging someone for each file. And they're just getting blown up right now. So in the normal October folder, I put in the actual daily reports. And then I'll have another folder for breakdowns in here. But we'll go back to here. Oh, not November. Still need 31st, but. Yeah, cool. So I'll just go back here to documents. But like I said, assuming it's set up just like mine, very top, 68-revenue support. Just find the year and then the month you're working on. And the first, like I said, month you put in like all the daily reports we just worked on and put together. And then in its own folder in there, that's where you have the breakdown of the credit cards. So. I might just actually stop putting these in at some point because I don't think they even look at them. But for now, I'll include them. So, but yeah, that's a normal day where it's just credit cards. So, anything video-wise you want me to go back over, or?
I don't think so, not yet.
You don't think
I
so?
feel like you're ready to do it. Then
Okay. All right. The video is probably long enough, so I'll just cut it off here.